Grizz and his tag team partner, standing 6'2", 300 pounds from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Trucker Jones.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there's the new LCW Tag Team Champions, Trucker Jones and Grizz, or the Grizz as Kiko called him, getting set to defend their tag team titles. The champions here getting set to defend their titles.
And their opponents, ladies and gentlemen, from parts unknown, Mr. Wrestling X, and from Costa Rica, Juantastic.
Mr. Wrestling X and Juantastic? Oh, here we go. And it's partying time, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Juantastic making a youngster's night here. Outside the ring, Juantastic's all about having a good time here. But they have an excellent opportunity to obtain tag team gold here in LCW against, well, a very mammoth team. And I mean that in the kindest way, in Trucker Jones and the Grizz. Combined weight of nearly 800 pounds between these two mammoth people. Juantastic and Mr. Wrestling X, they have their work cut out for them. As Mr. Wrestling X might be sporting a little bit of a shoulder injury. I haven't heard anything I haven't read anything in the files about Mr. Wrestling X. That's probably why his name is only Mr. Wrestling X. I've heard of Mr. Wrestling and Mr. Wrestling 2 and 3. But I've never heard of Mr. Wrestling X. So my first opportunity to see Mr. Wrestling X in action. Trucker Jones, very cocky, very confident, and he has every right to be 6'2", about a good 350 pounds. How can you not be confident? Along with the fact that you're one half of the LCW Tag Team Champions. Trucker Jones asking Juantastic if he's scared. Sorry if I mispronounced the name. Juantastic. Well, Trucker Jones said that, not me. I'm not going to repeat it. And here we go. Collar elbow tie-up. And Trucker Jones goes for a side headlock on Juantastic. Juantastic cannot go power for power with this mammoth trucker from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now he's got a reverse hammerlock and a clubbing blow right to the back. And a reversal by Juantastic. Juantastic. I'm a little bit tongue-tied right now. Juantastic has Trucker Jones in a side headlock. That's probably why. And now a reversal by Trucker Jones into an arm wringer. Oh, goes for a hip lock. Juantastic landed on his feet. And a monkey flip on Trucker Jones. Oh, he went for a clothesline. Juantastic ducked it. Oh, my God. A series of counters led to the ultimate counter of Trucker Jones DDTing Juantastic. Man, the big mother trucker from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Oh, man, it's just getting... Wow, a Hurricane Rana. A Hurricane Rana by Juantastic. Trucker Jones to the outside. That might not be a safe area for Trucker Jones. Juantastic has been known to take the cordial high-flying risk. Juantastic keeping an eye on the Grizz. I wouldn't put it past Grizz to sneak in a cheap shot. Trucker Jones breaks up the count. Trucker Jones said he's not ready. I'm anxious to see what Mr. Wrestling X can do. I have never, again, this is my first opportunity to see Mr. Wrestling X. And now both members of the tag team champions are down there. And there's a tag to Mr. Wrestling X. Here we go. And a tag to the Grizz. So now we got the Grizz and Mr. Wrestling X. Again, I'm I am highly, I can't wait to see Mr. Wrestling X. Here we go, collar elbow tie up. And Grizz easily, and I mean easily, overpowers Mr. Wrestling X. Crowd trying to get under the skin of the Grizz. Another collar elbow tie-up, and now a side headlock by Mr. Wrestling X, who will have to use that as a trade here, his forte, wrestling, if he has any shot at beating the tag team champions, and he's doing just that there. What a Mahi-style cradle that nearly gets the win. Mr. Wrestling X nearly gets the Grizz with a Mahi-style cradle. Again, doing what I just said here, playing to his strengths. His strengths is wrestling. The Grizz, it's a boot and a club to the back. And Trucker Jones with his foot up on the top rope, and Grizz introduces Mr. Wrestling X, or in particular his head, to Trucker Jones's foot. And now we got a double team behind the referee's back. Mr. Wrestling X is being choked on the top rope. There was no tag. There was no tag, but the referee heard it. And now, Trucker Jones going after the left arm of Mr. Wrestling X. And Juantastic very concerned about his tag team partner. As now Trucker Jones seems to have singled out that injured left arm of Mr. Wrestling X, putting all of his weight, that's 350 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, all of that weight on the left shoulder of Mr. Wrestling X. I can only imagine how excruciatingly painful this hold is right now for Mr. Wrestling X, wrestling with an injury here. An armbar takedown by Trucker. And only gets a 2 count. Grizz says it was 3. I'm pretty sure that was a 2. Last time I checked. And now Trucker Jones right back on that shoulder, targeting it out. Mr. Wrestling X is in trouble here. Oh my God. If that didn't separate his shoulder. Now Trucker Jones with a cheap shot. Juantastic. He's got that temper. And now a double team by the champions. A double suplex on Mr. Wrestling X. A no tag was made. Now Grizz again going to that injured shoulder, that injured arm of Mr. Wrestling X. Tell you what, I believe the referee might have to step in here. I know Mr. Wrestling X would never give it up on his own. But if this doesn't stop soon, this torture on the shoulder of Mr. Wrestling X, he might be looking at a separated shoulder, a broken arm, and possibly the end of his career. And look at the power of the Grizz! Tilt-a-whirl into a power slam. That's raw power. It only got a 2 count. How in the world did Mr. Wrestling X kick out of that? But Trucker Jones will probably rectify that problem as again goes after that injured left arm of Mr. Wrestling X and a poke to the eye. That was a little bit unnecessary. And now a big right hand to Mr. Wrestling X. Mr. Wrestling X is in a lot of trouble. Wow. That'll bust a capillary. Oh, a cross body on Trucker Jones. Oh, into a DDT. Trucker Jones was going to go for a slam. Somehow Mr. Wrestling X swung his way out of it into a DDT. Tags to the Grizz, and there's Juantastic. Down goes Grizz. Down goes Trucker. Second helping for Grizz. Second helping for Trucker. Juantastic's got the champions reeling with the titles on the line. But Trucker Jones put on the brakes. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my God. Juantastic. Juantastic's in trouble. Oh, my God. Oh, wait a minute. Juantastic was the legal man. The champions, with shades of the Hart Foundation, get the win here. Trucker Jones and the Grizz get the win here. I tip my hat off to Juantastic and Mr. Wrestling X. They gave it their all, but they just could not overpower and were pretty much outmatched by Trucker Jones and the Grizz, the LCW Tag Team Champions.